Hey, good evening and welcome to Bootcamp, your podcasting headquarters for learning more about podcasting. We come to you once a month, every first Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Central Time, that is. So glad to have people on board here to watch the show. Today, we're going to try something a little different here. I thought I'd go into some of the creation, how you go about creating videos and how you can use AI to help you. So we're going to talk about using the ChatGPT feature that's available and PowerPoint with some of the AI built into that so that you can find out how you can create a project that you're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how you would do this particular ChatGPT thing. So we're going to let ChatGPT do all the work. Well, I'll do some of the work in the background, but hey, sit back and enjoy. Let's see how this came out. So here's what I created for my prompt to get ChatGPT to create our slides. Create a 20-minute slideshow presentation, including dialogue in the presenter's notes on how to use ChatGPT to create a slideshow. And now you can see this is what the results are. This is actually live action. This is ChatGPT creating the slides, a slide at a time. So we can see it starts with the title slide, and then it's building them out, and see those presenter notes. That's the dialogue that I'm going to be able to utilize that to give my presentation. Now you can go in there and fix that, and I would probably make sure that I did that myself, but just for the sake of this particular program or this particular show, I'm going to use what they've given me. You'll kind of see how it works as an actual start to finish. So you can see it's going through creating slide after slide after slide and really kind of giving you some really great input in how you would prompt it. This is what I like, prompt example for speaker note integration. Now, I showed you what I used, but it's actually in the slides itself. Let AI tell you how you should prompt AI, huh? So now this is what it's going to give me is kind of, I call it like an outline view. It's really not the slide view. And when we get to the end here, I'll show you what we need to do. So almost there. So created, I think I asked for a 20-minute slideshow. Yeah, so it's figuring like a minute per slide. Now I'm going to read it a lot faster when I go through it because I'm trying to do this. So this is something that's recent where they put the presentation on the right side, and on the left, they go to the ChatGPT box. And you can see the next thing I did is I told it to create PowerPoint slides with presenter's notes. So it didn't create the PowerPoint. As you can see, it created those outline view, which it's more capable of doing that. So usually I let it come up with what it's going to do first of all, make sure it's kind of on par of what I want. And you can see where it's showing analyzing. So what it's doing is it's now going through the presentation it just created. And it's going to produce an actual file, a PowerPoint file that we can open up and utilize those slides to make our show. I'm going to go through all that with you shortly. But you can see it's still analyzing it. Takes a little bit of time. You know, there's a lot of processing involved in this. So again, this is ChatGPT doing all the work, though, behind the scenes by telling it to create this. So we're going to not bore you here. I'm going to go stop this and move ahead to the next point. So as you can probably see, it now has analyzed it and created this download the presentation file. It's a PowerPoint file, so it's downloading that. We're going to go ahead and find that file now. There it is, using ChatGPT. See it? It's PPTX, PowerPoint. And there it is. So now it's created actual slides. And if you look on the bottom, you can actually see that's the presenter notes on the bottom of each of those slides. Now, those aren't the best looking slides, but you have some options here. You can change it to widescreen if you want, or you can leave it back in the 4:3. I think today I'm going to stick with the standard 4:3 format and scale. That's fine. So now we've got the slides, and one of the things I don't like that ChatGPT, one of the things I don't like that AI does is puts a lot of bullets in here. And so I go in here and I go into the bullets and turn them off, just none. I think you could probably select multiple slides and turn them off. I don't know. I just did them one at a time here. It went pretty quick, but you get rid of those. It'll look better when you see some of the designer stuff we can do with this, because we're not going to leave it looking like this. So now we've gotten rid of those bullets. You go to that thing that says designer, and you can see that now it's going to bring up some pictures, some images, and also some different arrangements. And the designer gives you all sorts of ideas to kind of make these plain old white slides look kind of cool. So you can see, you can just select them and come up with what you think is going to work out best for your design. And really it's up to personal choices as to what you think is going to look best. And you could have modified these slides and still use the designer. It'll create them however you want. So by getting rid of some of those extra bullet points, well, let's get rid of that one. It'll still use the designer to kind of create a look. So again, whatever you think is going to go best with what you're doing. It'll show sometimes some picture options. I kind of like a lot of, I'm a fan of having image files and not so much words on my slides. And you go through each and every one of these and kind of fancy them up. I like these sometimes where it uses little pictures that are represented those numbers instead of numbers and kind of charts. But sometimes they're smaller lettering, so it's harder to read. So sometimes I'll choose something else. I'm just going through a variety of things to show you guys what options you have. So you pick them, whatever you want. If you like a darker slide, you could use something like that. It's really, you can almost get lost in just kind of playing around with this. But the designer's doing, the AI and built into PowerPoint now is doing all this work behind the scenes. The Microsoft Copilot is their AI. I like sometimes the simpler things, something like that looks nicer to me. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to stick to something that's kind of similar. You can keep the backgrounds looking the same. So the slides tend to look more cohesive that way. So, but you are the designer. It's your choice. Whatever you think looks best, that's best. We're going through these slides. I thought I would kind of run through the whole thing because I think it's worth seeing how my creative thoughts were working on doing all this. So sometimes I wanted visuals and sometimes I wanted more information to have the bullet points more prominent. I kind of almost think of it, it's like making a picture, you know, it's art. You're designing something and you're the creator of this. Ultimately, you know, the AI is going to make your life simpler, but it's not going to make it completely, you know, it's not going to come up with a presentation we have without you going through it and putting your own touch on it. And I wouldn't want it any other way. I think I want to be able to have that ability to go in there and make these changes to what I, you know, creating and making it my own. So you can see it's pretty quick, pretty easy. And we're almost ready here to get on to our next part. And sometimes you can go down to the bottom and ask it to show you more examples. Sometimes you find a choice that is better than what the other ones were. So see more designs. So you can ask it to keep generating over and over. It'll keep coming up with new ideas. That smiley face looks like it'll work for me. Okay, so now we've got this ready. We're going to add our recording to it. And this is kind of cool because you can actually record yourself giving the presentation. So we need to turn on our camera there. So you saw that cameo is what that's called. And there I am getting ready to record the session here. You can move that, change the size of it, put it wherever you want it. And you can do that after you've recorded too. So you don't have to do that now, but however you want to do it, you can do it. So kind of cool, the options that are available. So we're getting ready to record and we need to go to record. And so I left this in here. This is the first time it shows you that. You got to allow it access to your microphone. You have to allow it access to your camera, all that stuff that, and I have an Apple I'm doing this on. You can have a Mac or an app or a Microsoft PC. Either way it'll work, but you decide whichever you're using, you're gonna have to give it permission. And eventually you'll get to let's get started. And this teleprompter view is the one I like. You can use a view where you can see more traditional slides, but I'll show you the teleprompter view here in a second. You'll see why I like it. So got it. Now this is the teleprompter view. This is not what they're going to see. This is what you're going to see. So you can hit the start record button up there, and it shows you got your camera and your microphone. You can mute it if you needed. You can turn it on and off for each slide, however you want to do it. I'm just going to check and make sure that I've got the right microphone up. I can see got my camera because I see myself. So once you hit record, it's going to give you a little count in, and now you start recording your session. And I'm actually reading these slides right off of the description here, and I'm going to show you what that looks like when we're done. If you wanted to use a laser pointer, they're on the bottom there. You can grab a pen and circle things. You can use a laser to point things out while you're doing it. It's really quite capable. I'm pretty impressed with what they've done. So here we are, just going in there, reading through the slides. And that one kind of weird box that you see on there, that doesn't belong there. That's just something that showed up on the slides because I touched the box on my system. So ignore that. And we're going through these. That won't show up when you do it. And normally, even when you're recording it, you wouldn't see that. I'm not sure why that's showing up here. There we go. That's off. Okay. And there we go. So I did all the slides. Everything is ready to rock and roll. And now I'm going to show you how you can see it. It always puts it in that bottom corner. I mean, that's not always the best place to have it. And every slide, it might be a different place where it actually looks better. So you can go into each slide and move yourself. And find the best place for your picture to be there. So I think it's kind of nice to have the speaker's photo in the slides so that they can, see they can kind of see you talking. And so very versatile. You can go in here and put it anywhere you want. So you just figure out, now here's kind of interesting. I'm going to put it up here, but it's really too big. Well, shrink it. You can make it any size you want. You're the creator. You figure out what looks the best. So you always want to have the final result to be the best result. So again, you can be as creative as you want here. And I'm kind of taking my time and showing these off because I think it's worthwhile. Again, making it smaller so it fits. You can make it bigger if you wanted, depending on how you set up your slides. And sometimes a little pre-thought that you're going to be using a cameo shot in there. I might have gone with a wider slide, which might have worked out better. But now we're done. Got them all ready to go. Now I need to go up to, at least in my program with a Mac, I go to File, Export, because you're going to have to export this as a movie file. So you go in here where it says File Format and change that to Movie. So you see it's using a 264 compression, 1080p. You can change that quality if you want, but I'm good with that. Use recorded timings, and it's going to go ahead and chunk through here, and then we'll get to see what it looks like. Welcome to today's session on using ChatGPT to create slide presentations. In this talk, I'll show you how this AI tool can save time, enhance creativity, and help you build effective slides quickly. Let's dive in. ChatGPT is a tool that allows you to interact with AI in natural language. It's incredibly versatile, capable of answering questions, generating ideas, and even creating full presentations like this one. Let's explore how it applies to slides creation. Presenting a presentation can be daunting, especially when you're pressed for time. ChatGPT helps by providing structured ideas, contents, and creative phrasing to elevate your presentation. Before using ChatGPT, it's crucial to define your presentation's purpose and audience. Clear objectives will guide the AI in generating content tailored to your needs. ChatGPT's performance hinges on how you prompt it. Be specific about your requirements. For example, mention the number of slides, the tone of the content, and whether you need visuals or speaker's notes. I like this prompt examples that it's giving right there on the slide. That's kind of helpful. ChatGPT provides a starting point, but human input is essential to tailor the presentation. Always review the content for accuracy and relevance, ensuring it aligns with your style and message. While ChatGPT can suggest visuals, integrating tools like DALL-E or manual selection ensures a polished and engaging presentation. ChatGPT can generate speaker's notes to guide your delivery. These notes can help you stay organized and ensure a smooth flow during your presentation. The notes I'm reading right now came from ChatGPT. After creating your presentation, share it with your colleagues for feedback. Iteration ensures your final product is polished and effective. Thank you for your attention and participation. If you have any further questions or want to explore this topic more, don't hesitate to reach out. So there you have it. That's how you use ChatGPT to create a PowerPoint presentation, and how you use PowerPoint AI to create and fancy up the slides and record your presentation right built into their slide presentation software. You can record each slide separately. Even you can go in there, re-record parts if you need to straighten it out. I mean, there were some mistakes in there that I could have gone in and fixed, but sometimes I think it's seeing it more natural makes more sense. So it gives you an ideas. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're learning a lot about how to go ahead and start a podcast yourself and how to do these podcasts. I put on, right now I'm putting on 4 podcasts. 3 podcasts are weekly, and this one, of course, is a monthly podcast. So it's a lot of material that has to be generated. And of course, without the use of AI, it would be a lot more difficult. And, again, you want to not rely on AI to do all the work, but I think it gets you the framework. If you can use it as a framework, it's going to be a great time saver. And again, getting these slides kind of fancied up. You'll see that most of my presentations, I like to rely a lot on images, and that I use Midjourney and create my own images for. But again, getting those slides, that starting point is huge. And I really kind of like that narration with the teleprompter view on PowerPoint. I have just discovered that recently. I think I'm going to utilize that a little bit more. I don't tend to like to read a lot of notes, because then you tend to just read the notes. So you kind of saw what that was like. I'm more of a freehand speaker, so I kind of like to go by what I do. But you figure out what's going to work best for you. And again, this is a fun thing. It can be really neat to do. So I encourage everybody to get involved more with get yourself online and being part of the podcasting community. It's been rewarding for me, and I hope it will be for you. And hey, we'll see you next month.